Shalom. I'd like to start out by giving all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rakach Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of Israel. This is Tamayim in Atlanta, and I've got this TikTok on the president of Mexico, and he's going in on the U.S. and the Edomites for coming in and stealing their resources and stealing their oil. And he's talking about going back years ago, I think it says 85 years ago, but they are taking a stand. He says they will not submit anymore to this. And so we'll go ahead and listen to this, and then we will get into the scriptures.
Joined a rally in Mexico City with President López Obrador to mark 85 years since the expropriation of Mexico's oil resources from foreign corporations.
México es un país independiente y libre, no una colonia ni un protectorado de Estados Unidos.
He said Mexico is an independent place, and they're not a colony of the United States.
Y que podrán amenazarnos con cometer cualquier atropello, pero jamás permitiremos que violen nuestra soberanía y pisoteen la dignidad de nuestra patria. Cooperación, sí. Sometimiento, no.
He said they can threaten them all they want, but they're not going to bend the knee. He said they will cooperate, but no, they will not submit.
Intervencionismo, no. ¡Viva la expropiación petrolera! ¡Vivan los trabajadores y técnicos de antes y de ahora de la industria petrolera nacional! ¡Viva México! ¡Viva México! ¡Viva México!
Hundreds of thousands joined a...
And you see that they are done with bending the knee for the U.S. and for these Edomites, for them to just come in and rape their country of resources. They're done with that. They said they'll cooperate, but no submitting, because Esau always wants to have the better hand. But that time is coming to an end. And so, right off the bat, we should get into the prophecies going into Issachar, because the tribe of Issachar inhabits what we call Mexico today. And so this is Genesis 49 and 14. It says Issachar, which is Yashakar in the Hebrew, which means he is hired. It says, is a strong ass couching down between two burdens. And Issachar, the Issacharites are a strong people, both physically and mentally. And it says a strong ass couching down between two burdens. Those burdens being the US of A and the rest of Central and South America. If you look at a map, Mexico is right there in between the two. And it says, and he saw that rest was good, and the land that it was pleasant. And Mexico is a beautiful place. It says, and bowed his shoulder to bear, and became a servant unto tribute. So the Issacharites submitted. And even in that video we just saw, he says they will not submit anymore. And so we're at this point in time where the different nations around the world are rising up against the current hegemony, or Western hegemony, which is mostly through the beast, which is NATO and EU. And that's all controlled by the Edomites. who are the self-proclaimed white people, and that the whore that rides on the back of the beast being the United States of America. That's who pushes all of these policies and who has the military might to actually get it going. So this is Obadiah 1 and 7. It says, all the men of thy confederacy. And Mexico is just one of the men of the U.S.'s confederacy, of Esau's confederacy, because they've been helping out and working with the United States in a, as he said earlier, in a submitted fashion. But they have been at peace with the United States. It says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. That's going into bringing them out for war. And this whole book is speaking to the Edomites. It says they brought them out to the border, to war. And we're seeing that with the formation of these different alliances around the world, and especially with the BRICS forming, which Mexico applied to be a part of the BRICS nations, that being Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. And I believe there's 24 new applicants coming in right now. It says, the men that were at peace with thee. And Mexico has been at peace with the U.S. and with Esau for a while. Mexico's even a part of NAFTA, which is the North American Free Trade Agreement. And that's a trade agreement between Canada, U.S., and Mexico, to where there are no tariffs and different fees for imports and exports, and just to allow free trade between the region. It says, the men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. And Mexico's been at peace with the U.S. and with Esau, but they're working on something. I actually saw this recently. Even though they've applied to the BRICS, they're speaking with a quote-unquote forked tongue, just like Esau. It says Mexican president backs the U.S. dollar as globe's principal currency. I felt like this whole article was just using that forked tongue. It's deception, because while they're saying this on one side, they're actually applying to the BRICS nations on the other side, which would cripple the dollar. But at the same time, they're giving their reassurance to America and to the Edomites that they're going to stick with it. But obviously, they have applied to the BRICS. So we're waiting and seeing the play there. But from what it looks like to me, it's a deception. And as it says, the men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. They're not really a true friend unto the U.S., and they should not be, because the U.S. has stolen land, parts of Texas and out in the West, California and stuff, used to be a part of Mexico, but the U.S. has taken that. It pushes all this drug stuff through the cartels. There's also all the border wars that go on and trying to keep back people whose land this actually is. They try to keep them out and call them illegal aliens. They're not actually true friends as well. It says, and prevailed against thee. So in the end, Esau goes down through the men of his confederacy, but also through Yahushua returning with the chariots and cleaning up, and it's all taken out by the missiles. It says, they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee, there is none understanding in him. Because you look at these Edomites and they have no idea what's going on. It says in Psalms 49, Zemwart thought is that his house will continue forever. They call their lands after their own names, but the house is continuing forever. I don't think most Edomites really see that this is their downfall and the future that they have in store for them. It says, neither did they think of their latter end. So this is it. It says there is none understanding in him. And in Daniel it also says the wicked will do wickedly, but none shall have understanding. But yeah, these nations are rising up against America, and they're rising up against the Edomites because they've just gone around destabilizing nations, destabilizing families, just polluting everything, polluting understanding, polluting the land, polluting the people, and people have just had enough of it. They're done. That's literally the problem of the earth, the Edomites, and they have to be taken out. So this is Habakkuk 2 and 4. Behold, his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him, that him being the Edomites. But the just shall live by his faith, the just being the elect of the nation of Israel. It says, yeah, also, because he transgresseth by wine, that wine being his philosophies, which he pushes out throughout all of the world, that being feminism, his false Christianity, his alphabet lifestyle that he's pushing out, and now with the T word, the Transformers, and with the maps people. He's pushing this wine, which is wicked and it's death. He's pushing it out all over, and he actually thinks he knows what he's talking about. It says, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. And the U.S. has bases throughout, the most bases of any nation all throughout the world. And we know their history of colonizing and taking that which isn't theirs. It says, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death. That's someone that is insatiable. It says, and cannot be satisfied. Insatiable. They can't have enough. They're always going out because of their greed, taking and taking and taking. It says, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people, because they want the whole world in their grasp, under their control, and this being their elite, so that they can sit in the seat of the Most High, saying that they are the Most High, so to satisfy their God complex, basically. It says, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him? And that is exactly what the Mexican president was doing. He's telling them no more. He's done with this. And say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. How long? And they're going into these oil companies coming in and taking the oil 85 years ago. They're saying, woe to you, destruction to you. And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay, that thick clay being debt, abatyat. And, every few days we hear about the debt ceiling and it having to be raised. And Esau's elite have gone in with their feds and posted them up in the vast majority of countries. They all have feds. And that's why there's all this debt, because these are privately owned banks. It's not through the actual countries. It's just in the name. It sounds like it's an actual through the government, but these are privately owned banks. It says, shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them? Because the Edomites are about to be spoiled. They are at their last bit of freedom and their last bit of rulership. Booties goes into spoils of war. It says, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee. That's really just what the people in the world call karma, and what the scriptures say is you reap what you sow. It's just all their wickedness is just going to come back onto them, and they're actually going to receive double full for what they've done. It says, because of men's blood and for the violence of the land. And they've spilled tons of blood all around the world. It says don't pollute the land with blood, for the only way it could be cleansed is through he who spilt it. So it's just showing it's going to come back on them. And for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. Woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house, because their greed is actually going to be their downfall. It's just that he may set his nest on high. It's in setting their house, their positioning above all the other nations and above all the other people. That's why they pushed out that white supremacy. But it's all being turned upside down onto them, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. Since thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and hast sinned against thy soul. For the stone shall cry out of the wall, and the beam out of the timber shall answer it. Woe to him that buildeth the town with blood, and establisheth a city by iniquity. And so, for all the violence, all the murder, all the theft, all the rape, all the robbery, all that has to be done unto them. And building their whole enterprise, their United States of America, and their NATO and their EU, the beast, all these things are gonna, the wicked ways in which they did it, it's all gonna turn back onto them, and it's nothing but destruction. All the lies, it's just too much. It's something that the Lord can't let stand, or else he would be an unrighteous power. But he's a righteous power and has to bring this down. And he's going to use the different laborers, the different nations to help bring them down. He's going to put Esau against Esau to bring Esau down. And he's going to use the elect of Israel as his battle axes and weapons of war to bring down Esau. Yahushua is going to return with the chariots, clean them up, and those nukes are going to be the ultimate end of the Edomite reign. And so, Lord willing, that was edifying. I'd like to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahushai Bahasham, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone. And shalom to the elect of Israel. Shalom.